And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We are live at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Show number 729. Again on this Wednesday, April the 18th, 2018. Our countdown to Christmas at 250 days. If you're concerned about when Christmas is, it's 250 days from today. We're live here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Tomorrow will be at Champion Chevrolet. Then on Friday we'll be in Kingsport on Clinchfield Street on a Food City Friday, kicking off a big two-day sale. We'll be there broadcasting live again on Friday. But today we're here at Chick-fil-A, the home of Connie Larimer and Tim Birchfield and all the great folks here at Chick-fil-A. We always start our show by dedicating it to the man who hung on the cross. Today is certainly no different, and the verse of the day is out of the book of Psalms. Psalms 139 says, verses 13 and 14, I created your innermost being. I knit you together in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. All of us are unique. We're all different. None of us are the same. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. So that is the first day to get it going here again on this Wednesday. Lots to talk about. East Tennessee State baseball, high school baseball here last night. Elizabeth, a big win over Solomon South. Same two teams coming up tonight in Colonial Heights. Also, we have Major League Baseball. Greg Salyer will be by a little bit later on, talk about that. Joe Bento joins us later in the show, the sports writer from the sports director now from the Johnson City Press and the Kingsport Times News. Also, we have coming up a little bit later on, Jeremy Livesey will give us the very latest on the NBA playoffs. Who is hot, who's not, who's in trouble? I would think probably my Spurs are in trouble against the Golden State Warriors, but we'll talk about that coming up, all that and more. Here's lots going on, high school basketball, some high school football notes, some golf notes from the PGA. Of course, Major League Baseball, big night last night there in the Big. So all that coming up here again as we're live at Chick-fil-A in the Crossings in North Johnson City. Food City 300, a kiss you have heard by now because we broke it for you yesterday here on the show from the standpoint that we are moving the Bush's Beans 150, the NASCAR Wheel and Modified race, and the UNOH 200. The NASCAR Campbell World Truck Series race, both of those being moved to Thursday coming up in the fall. So three big nights in a row, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This is the middle one of the threesome on a Friday night, the Food City 300. Tickets are on sale already, are on sale to all Food City locations. A ticket that's free for kids 12 and under, both Thursday and Friday night. Kids get in free. And so the adult tickets for this particular race, only $30, available now to all Food City. So you say, Tom, it's way off. It is, but it won't be, I promise you. We're 250 days till Christmas, so it's not going to be that far away, I can guarantee you that. So, anyway, tickets are available. Thought we'd pull this one out of the old closet we're today in honor of the upcoming race in the fall, the Xfinity Series race for the Food City 300. Love working for Food City. Love working here for Chick-fil-A, Sprint, all the great folks, all of our great sponsors. We love working for them, and we appreciate them very much. It is the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live here at Chick-fil-A. Do want to talk about, we've got all kinds of opportunities coming up in the school parties, field days, vacation Bible school right around the corner. There are catering opportunities here at Chick-fil-A, and so all you have to do is call this magic number, 952-0031 is the number to call. And they've got the lunch and learn, they've got the party people, got the game day, they've got all kinds of sides and treats here. The packaged meals, you got the entrees like the nuggets tray, the strips tray, the chilled grilled chicken sub sandwich tray, the grilled cool wrap tray, all those available here at Chick-fil-A to carry out or to have it catered, have an event catered. Also, you have sides and treats like the superfood side tray, the fruit tray, the garden salad tray, the chocolate chunk cookie tray. Ooh, yeah. All that's available again here. And so you can, anything from one person all the way up. Here's the lunch and learn. For 8 to 10 people, 15 people, 25 people plus, all right here. It's a great catering menu here at Chick-fil-A. And, of course, on the back is the breakfast. A lot of breakfast meetings where folks come in and get the chicken minis, the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, or the fruit tray, or the Greek yogurt parfait. All those available for breakfast. Again, either to carry out or they'll cater it for you. And so 952-0031, lots of things going on this time of year. Into the school year parties, field days, banquets, you name it. As we said, vacation Bible school, not that far away. So all those opportunities are available again through catering or carry out from here at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings here in North Johnson City. And the phone number is 952-0031 or Chick-fil-A, CFAJC.com. There you go. Either way. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll jump in and go. We got lots to talk about. We're live here at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. We'll do that right after we come back and let you hear how you can save and save big from friends right here at Sprint on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Our great sponsor at Sprint, giving you a chance to save at all Sprint stores across the Tri-Cities. When you go into any Sprint store and say you heard the Tom Taylor Sports Show or Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball, they'll give you 25% off or a fourth off any accessory in the store. That would include Urban Armor gear cases, OtterBox cases, any screen protectors, tempered glass, 25% off. Wireless charging stands, pop sockets, tablet cases, wireless chargers, battery packs are all 25% off when you say you heard the Tom Taylor Sports Show or Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball. Also, Beats headphones, both the headphones and the earbuds, 25% off when you say you heard the show. Also, 3-piece magnetic organizers, battery packs, tablet cases, JBL portable flip speakers. It goes on and on. Anything accessory in the store at any Sprint store in the Tri-Cities, say you heard the Tom Taylor Sports Show and or Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball, and save 25% off today at your Sprint store across the Tri-Cities.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-Cities' best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-Fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we're live here at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings, North Johnson City on this Wednesday. Let's take a look at pro football. Some things are best left unsaid, but apparently I'm back is not one of them for Tom Brady, who is not verbally committed to playing football this year, according to a report from ESPN. Feels a little silly 8 days out from the NFL draft and 4 months out from the start of the season. They're worked up whether Brady will play for the Patriots or not in 2018. He is going to turn 41 years old. He did end his 2017 season, obviously on a sour note, and did end his documentary in a fashion that might lead people to believe he won't play forever. Hello, Renee McNeil. How you doing, young lady? Brady was the MVP of the 2017 season at 40, the oldest MVP in league history. And so that may have taken something out of him. But, again, there's reported tensions between he and Bill Belichick that surfaced during last season and lingered until now. Brady's best target, tight end Rob Gronkowski, also reportedly frustrated with Belichick and about some jokes the coach made before the 2017 season about Gronky's and Brady's diet. What am I missing here? Grown Minnie's mad because he made some jokes about him? Come on, dude. You're supposed to be the big bad Superman, bad to the bone party animal Rob Gronkowski, and you get your feelings hurt about something you said about a diet you're taking? Still believe that Brady will be playing in 2018, that he will eventually show up at the Patriots' off-season workouts. He currently is away from the off-season program, something he's also done in 2008, 2009, and 2010. I wouldn't sit around and hold my breath, turn blue. I think you'll see Tom Brady back there piloting the Patriots in 2018. College football wrapping up. A lot of teams wrapping up their fall practice coming up. One of those being Tennessee. Will tell you the difference, what you're going to see when you go down to this weekend for Jeremy Pruitt and the Tennessee football team. It is the Orange-White Day. It is different this time around under Jeremy Pruitt versus the past with Butch Jones. We'll tell you all about that coming up in a moment. Other games coming up to wrap up the college football spring practice for Georgia. Coming up on Saturday, getting your first look at five-star freshman Justin Fields. Jake Fromm pushed Jacob Eason at quarterback last spring, but can Fields do the same? Again, listening to Kirby Smart throughout the spring to find out which players you think can fill the leadership void left by star players like Nick Chubb and Sony Michel and Raquan Smith. That'll be the key for last year's national runner-up. Hello, Frank Peters watching. Thank you, my friend. And so Georgia plays their spring football game coming up on Saturday. So does Notre Dame. Brian Kelly last year made it clear Brandon Wimbush was the starting quarterback throughout the spring. Different story this year is Ian Book makes a concerted push for the job. How will the offensive line retool the loss of All-Americans Quentin Nelson and Mike McClinchy? Irish have talent up front, but will the running game be dominant again? They'll try and decide that coming up again on Saturday. A couple of other games coming up. UCLA has their season-ending football game. Chip Kelly back in college football. There'll be bumps along the road as he helps UCLA transition to a patented up-tempo offense, and they'll see first look at that coming up again on Saturday. Also coming up, you have the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Brand new coach, of course, Scott Frost is back. Sold out the spring game in fewer than 24 hours. How about that? Is there enthusiasm and excitement in Lincoln? Absolutely. Nebraska sold out the spring game in fewer than 24 hours, and resale tickets are through the roof. Why? Scott Frost is back, and that alone has generated excitement not seen in Lincoln since the 1990s. The game itself will show there's work to be done, but his dynamic presence coupled with a sellout crowd will draw a lot of attention. Big Red on the way back, you better believe it. Hello, Bill Patrick. Good morning, sir. Alabama Crimson Tide having their spring football game coming up on Saturday. Nick Saban will do his best to combat the rat poison, but the Tide have a young, excited, and loaded football team who will be ranked number one in most preseason polls. Of course, the controversy at quarterback, Ty has been out for most of the spring. And so Jalen Hurts as well. So new offensive coordinator Mike Loxley, defensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach Dan Enos will be scrutinized as well. So that's coming up again. Let me run down all of them for you. All the teams that are having their spring football practice are wrapping up on Saturday. We'll start in no particular order. Nebraska, as we mentioned, Notre Dame, Baylor, Alabama, Colorado State, UCLA, Penn State, Washington, Georgia, as you heard, Mississippi State, Washington State, the Wyoming Cowboys, LSU, Texas, Kansas State, Southern Miss, Troy, and, of course, Tennessee wrapping theirs up as well. I was going to get the story for you coming out of the paper today. I want to get you how it's going to be different down there for the spring football game for under Jeremy Pruitt this time around. And it goes as follows. Here's what's going to be different. There's not going to be an autograph session like there's been in the past. Tennessee's football's orange and white will play out a little bit differently on Saturday. The free spring game will kick off at 2 o'clock at Neyland Stadium, still serving as Tennessee fans' first glimpse of Team 122 in action and a way to celebrate the upcoming football season, but featuring some changes. What's new this year? Tennessee has undergone a lot of changes. First off, the game itself will look a bit different. The orange-white game played out like a scrimmage with players completing drills with action like sacks and yards gained, earning points. That was Butch Jones. And so it is anything but that now. Saturday will feature a live game with standard scoring and rules according to the Tennessee Football Department. Hello, Scott Hyatt. How you doing, buddy? In the game, the first string offense and defense will face each other. The change came from Pruitt, who previously told the Knoxville newspaper he wanted to put the players in a position to compete. So it's going to be a live football game. We'll see what they're really made of, what's going on down in Knoxville. So spring game may start at 2, but there's all kinds of pregame festivities on Saturday at 9:30 in the Toyota Vol Village. And it opens at Lot 9 with a party including music, face painting, photo ops, Smokey and the Spirit Squad, food, inflatables, giveaways, interactive areas, and all kinds of other activities. American Idol Season 15 winner and country singer Trent Harmon will perform before the game in the Vol Village. Gates open at 12:30. The first 5,000 fans to enter gates 10 and 21 will get a Fandana from Coca-Cola, according to UTSports.com. So that's what's going on. Also, they're moving as we told you, this year's orange and white game will not feature an autograph session as it has in previous years. Instead, an August fan day will be held early in the month during fall camp to replace that. During that event in August, attendees will view the team practicing in Neyland Stadium, get autographs, and meet the players in August and coaches after practice. A date has not been set on that as of yet. So that's going on again on Saturday. If you can't get there, the orange and white game will be broadcast live on the SEC network. And those who can't make it there can also guess where it's going to be. It's going to be streamed. How about that? He said this show would never work. You can't do a sports show on Facebook and on a website, live stream it. What are you talking about? Can't do that. Orange White game on Saturday will be streamed on the ESPN app. How about that? So, guess we weren't as dumb as folks thought we were, 4 years ago. Show number, by the way, 729 today. Tomorrow we'll be at Champion Chevrolet. Friday we'll be at Food City on Clinchfield Street in downtown Kingsport. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. Now, let me just give you one more story here in college football. Then we'll jump into I think it's kind of a bizarre story regarding Patrick Reed and the Masters. But here we go. Former Ole Miss coach. Fix my tie again here. There we go. Former Ole Miss coach Hugh Freeze had plenty of job opportunities within the SEC this season, but SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey kept him from being hired. Now, is there a lawsuit pending here? Site reports it wasn't only Alabama Nick Saban courting Hugh Freeze, the former coach at Ole Miss, to join their staff during the all season, but at least 5 Southeastern Conference schools that had contact with Freeze about on-field jobs this offseason. However, why is this tie not wanting to do what I want to do? I'm going the wrong way, I guess. There we go. Now leave it alone. Thank you. However, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey encouraged Alabama not to hire a man as well known for the personal shortcomings that led to his Ole Miss resignation as he is for the success as a coach. Report elaborates that both LSU and Missouri were 2 other schools that had interest in hiring Freeze but was discouraged to do so by Sankey and the Southeastern Conference. This is a result of Freeze's dismissal from Ole Miss and the NCAA infractions that took place at the school while he was there. Freeze had no comment on the report when asked by CBS Sports, so other schools wanted this man for his coaching ability. Sankey says, for all the mess he created at Ole Miss, we would encourage you not to hire this man, and so they haven't. So I don't know if there's a discrimination going on, potentially can go on there or not. I don't know. Freeze had no comment. I think everything he's been through, I think he is kind of just laying low. As we told you yesterday, we're live here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. As we told you yesterday, the Alabama High School Athletic Association, the AHSAA, has voted to implement instant replay in all high school football games in Alabama coming up starting this fall. So don't look now, but Tennessee and everybody else will follow suit. They're going to have to keep up with the Joneses, but they are going to implement instant replay in all high school football games in Alabama this fall. The purpose of instant replay is to aid the officials in getting it right, said Executive Director Steve Savarsi. Several states, including New Jersey and Minnesota, have used or plan to use replay in championship games. Alabama is believed to be the first state to have instant replay available at all high school games starting this fall. All right, back to Patrick Reed. I don't know what the hoorah is, but here we go. Patrick Reed wore the green jacket he received for winning the Masters to a Knicks-Cavs game last week. Then he wore it to a Chick-Fil-A drive-thru. Over the weekend, Reed, who lives in Houston, went to both an Astros-Rangers baseball game and Game 1 of the Rockets-Timberwolves playoff game. He wore the green jacket he won to the Masters to both of those events, and some of the folks are poo-pooing that, saying he shouldn't do it. Okay. Reed, believe it or not, catching some heat for the public appearances. This is nuts, is what Masters champions do. This is what Masters champions should do. Sergio Garcia attended Wimbledon at a soccer match last year in his jacket. Jordan Spieth went to a Mavericks game in his jacket after he took it in 2015. And yet Reed's kind of been sort of vilified for following suit. I don't get it. I don't understand the problem. If you win a championship ring, some of these players, all the players who win championship rings, NFL, a Super Bowl championship ring, or, I don't know, NBA championship ring, they wear it out. Or they put it up, but they wear it out sometimes. So this guy's getting chastised because he's wearing the Masters jacket. Well, it's tradition not to wear it out in public. Or where do you just go and hang it up in the closet? Why would you do that? I mean, why would you not proudly wear something you obviously went through a lot of stress and pressure and obviously some very, very high competition to the nth degree in a competitive sense to win this thing and then take it home and hang it up in the closet? I don't get that. So, anyway, that's what's going on with Patrick Reed, catching a little heat from the folks because he's wearing his green jacket out at the ball games and other things. God. All right, we've got the Middle East, gas prices going up. We got Middle East tensions going up. We got all kinds of situations going on around the country, around the world. And we're worked up and jacked up because the guy's wearing his Masters jacket to a ball game. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at the NBA, the National Hockey League from last night and yesterday. And also right around the corner, we'll visit and get an update on what's happening in high school baseball and softball and soccer from yesterday. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live again at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Really? We're upset because he's wearing a green jacket out. Well, it's tradition. We'll be right back after this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Take a look at the National Basketball Association playoffs from yesterday and last night. It was Toronto going up 2-0 in the best of 7 over the Washington Wizards. Final there 130-119. Also the Boston Celtics, a 14-point win at home over Milwaukee, 120-106. Celtics lead that best of 7, 2 games to none. And also Portland last night. It was a 111-102 win by New Orleans over Portland. Again in the NBA playoffs, so that would be a 2-game-to-none lead. Yep, 2-game-to-none lead in New Orleans over Portland, and so that's what's going on there from last night. Now for today, who's playing where? You have tonight Utah at Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City leads that best of 7, 1 games to none. Also tonight you have in the NBA playoffs, trying to double check, make sure here. Yep, Indiana at Cleveland. Pacers won that first one 98-80, so they'll take on the Cavaliers again tonight in Game 2 of the best of 7. Cavs losing Game 1 on their home floor over the weekend, or we were at the Speedway. Minnesota at Houston tonight. Houston leads that best of 7, 1-0 with a very narrow 104-101 victory on over the weekend, I should say, in that ball game. And of course, we told you Golden State and my guy San Antonio play tomorrow night. So again, Indiana at Cleveland tonight, Utah at Oklahoma City, Minnesota at Houston at your NBA playoffs for this Wednesday, April the 18th. Then you look at the National Hockey League from last night. It was Washington skating past Columbus 3-2. The Blue Jackets lead that series now 2-1. It was Winnipeg going up 3-1 over Minnesota. 2-0 final. The Jets over the Wild in Minnesota. And the Vegas Golden Knights sweep and eliminate the LA Kings in 4. Beat them last night. And so they move on now to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tonight, Nashville, the Predators leading to the best of 7, 2-1. Back in Colorado to skate against the Avalanche. They'll drop the puck at 10 o'clock tonight. Predators in Colorado in Colorado. Pittsburgh, the defending Stanley Cup champions, lead 2-1. They'll be in Philadelphia tonight against their cross-state rival, the Flyers. Tampa Bay, 2-1 best of 7 series lead in New Jersey tonight against the Devils. And Anaheim, trailing 3-0. The San Jose Sharks will try and eliminate Anaheim tonight in the Shark Tank. 10:30, they'll drop the puck at the Shark Tank in San Jose, California. That's what's going on there. Last night, college baseball here on the local scene. After East Tennessee State won 2 games in Knoxville, the Vols repaid the favor with a 6-2 win last night at Thomas Stadium. Tennessee starter Will Heflin, now 4-1, gave the Vols, who are now 22-17 on the season, 6 solid innings, allowing just 4 hits and 2 walks. Benito Santiago came through at the plate, driving in 3 runs for Tennessee. East Tennessee State, now 18-15, had 7 hits, but much of the night the Bucks had hard swings on to hit them right at players. I mean, they nailed them, but right at folks. And so, as a result, victory for the Volunteers going back to Knoxville for the win last night, 6-2. Bucks take 2 out of 3 over the Vols through the 2018 regular season. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're again live here at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City. Excuse me. Tomorrow we'll be at Champion Chevrolet, and then Friday we will be on the road at Food City on Clinchville Street in Kingsport. So, breakfast here at Chick-fil-A. The Chicken Minis, the Chicken Mini tray. A tray of bite-sized Chick-fil-A nuggets nestled in mini yeast rolls that are lightly coated with honey butter spread. Man, it's awesome. Those Chicken Minis are out of this world. You can get those, again, 20 Chicken Minis for $16, 40 Chicken Minis for a little over $30, but again, feeds a lot of people. And folks, in fact, that 20 will serve up to 5 folks, and the 40 will serve up to 10 folks. Also, the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuits, you can get those in pickup or delivery. And also the fruit tray is the same, and also the Greek yogurt parfait. Pickup or delivery. Again, it's a phone call away. You got some, gosh, there's all kinds of stuff coming up. There's end of the school programs. There's field days coming up. Vacation Bible schools coming up. Graduation parties. And then the list goes on and on. Vacation Bible school not that far away. Folks are planning that. So that's some of the options you can, and some of the ways that if you need great Chick-fil-A food, you can simply call 952-0031 and get more information about how Chick-fil-A, you can either come pick it up or they can bring it to you and cater your event. How about that? That's pretty neat. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, top of the hour, will be joined by our buddy Greg Salyer. We're at the bottom of the hour now. Of course, later on in the show, Joe Vento joins us from the Johnson City Press Kingsport Times News. Also later in the show, Greg Salyer, top of the hour, in about 30 minutes with the Major League Baseball update. Also later in the show, Jeremy Livesey will come by and break down and analyze for us the NBA playoffs, such as they are right now. So they're starting to really heat up. And so all that's coming up again in just a little while. Quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll come back and take a look at high school baseball yesterday, high school softball from yesterday, and also some soccer from yesterday. But first, this time out for our good friends here at Chick-fil-A, also at Mike's Medicine Mart and Champion Chevrolet. We'll be right back after this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
The savings continue the month of April at Mike's Medicine Mart in Kingsport. All natural factors, 20% off the entire month of April. Products like folic acid, CoQ10, apple cider vinegar capsules to lose weight, vitamin B12, Stress Relax, which are tranquil sleep chewables, all 20% off the month of April. Easy Iron, niacin tablets, vitamin C, calcium, over 100 different supplements of natural factors, all 20% off the month of April. No coupons, no limits. A flat 20% off anytime you buy by Natural Factors in April at Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. Center Street in Kingsport, where Natural Factors are 20% off the month of April at Max Medicine Mart.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City's huge spring sale is in full swing. We have over 600 new Chevys to choose from with savings up to 20% off MSRP. 17 Silverado 1500, 20% off MSRP with over 200 in stock. 17 Silverado HD, 13% off MSRP. 2017 Equinox Trax in Malibu, 20% off MSRP. Don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours and shopping online 24/7. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-Fil-A's chicken minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
We're back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's take a look at high school baseball. First off, from yesterday, the standings after yesterday's action. Gosh, there's all kinds of big games yesterday, so let's run them down for you. But first, the standings. In the Big 7 Conference, Science Hill goes to 9-0. Dobbins Mitt at 6-3. Tennessee High and Cherokee at 5-4. Daniel Boone currently 6-4. Crockett at 2-9, and Volunteer at 0-9 in the Big 7. Three Rivers Conference, Unicoi County, big win over Sullivan Central. They run their mark to 8-1 now. It is an 8-2 record for Sullivan East. Elizabeth, a big win yesterday right here on these airwaves. Again, defeating Sullivan South. Elizabeth now 6-3. South falls to 4-5. Sullivan Central falls to 4-7. Happy Valley and Johnson County both at 1-7 in the bottom of the conference. In the Watauga Valley Conference, University High 8-0. Unaka at 7-1. Hampton at 4-6. North Green at 3-4. Sullivan North at 1-5, and Cloudland at 0-7 in the Watauga Valley Conference. From yesterday, Science Hill defeats Cherokee 4-1. We'll break some of these games down here in just a second. Let's look at today's schedule. Science Hill, Cherokee, Dobbins Minute at Tennessee High, Crockett at Volunteer, Elizabethton, the Cyclones at Sullivan South, 7 o'clock first pitch tonight. Sullivan Central, Unicoi County, Happy Valley at Johnson County, and the Tri-City Flames at Sullivan East. Our next broadcast coming up Friday night for Alumni Night, when the Cyclones play host to the Volunteer Falcons out of the Big 7. Triple-A team coming to town, so our next game will be coming up Friday night, 6:30 airtime, 7 o'clock first pitch for Alumni Night, again happening at O'Brien Stadium in Elizabeth. So let's go back and break it down, some of the games from yesterday. First off, our game, Evan Carter struck out 8, gave up 6 hits, no walks, and a complete game for the Cyclones. Carter also went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Ryan Wetzel was 3 for 4. Logan Eastep 2 for 3. Corey Russell triple and 2 RBIs as the Cyclones roll over the Sullivan South Rebels 9-1. Marcus Williams, big night for him, batted 3 for 4 to lead the Rebels. First at bat for Marcus Williams. He tattooed one off the bottom of the wall in deep right field against the fence. Ended up again going 3 for 4 for the Rebels, who lost. Caleb Wilson struck out 11 as Unicoi County rolls over Sullivan Central. Final there was 15-1. Also, big games for Dobbins Minute. Brogan Beckner's solo home run to the bottom of the third inning opened the floodgates and sent Dobbins Minute on its way to a 13-3 win over Tennessee High. Same two teams today in Bristol, Tennessee. Also wanted to get to you, here it is, Brandon Feathers at the top of his game, starting pitcher for Science Hill, pitching a 2-hitter, and Cherokee losing 4-1 as the Hilltoppers again win at Cardinal Park, now TVA Credit Union Ballpark. Feathers will play for Radford next year. Struck out 11 Cherokee batters. Cherokee now 11-11, 5-4 in the season, but a big win last night for the Hilltoppers, and now hit 20 wins on the season. They're 20-4 and 9-0 in the Big 7 Conference. What else going on from yesterday? Let's switch gears and talk a little softball. And Mia Richardson collected 5 RBIs and a pair of first-inning home runs. Science Hill 16-1, 4-inning rout of Volunteer in Big 7 Conference play. Casey Bennett and Mackenzie Powell each went 3 for 3 for the Lady Toppers, who had 14 hits. Also yesterday, Sullivan East Lady Patriots over Happy Valley 12 to 3. Jillian Shackelford, Samantha Smith, and Kylie Wolf supplying 3 hits apiece to lead the Lady Patriots. Leading the Lady Warriors in the losing calls was Caitlin Roberts with 2 doubles, 3 runs, and 3 stolen bases. Also yesterday, in softball play, it was Sullivan North over North Green in 8 innings. Lady Raiders beat them 8 to 7. Alyssa Bean, also Abby Potter, Heaven Nash, each having 2 hits apiece for North, with Bean and Nash contributing 2 RBIs apiece, and Nash also going deep with a home run for the Lady Golden Raiders, winning in 7 innings. 8 to 7 was the final. Unaka beats University High 13-3. University High's Kensington Daly, 6 earned runs, and recorded 4 strikeouts from the circle, and went 1 for 2 with a run and 2 walks. That was all going on in softball from yesterday. Also, it was, we saved the best for last, Nicolette Ferguson. Daniel Boone sophomore fired a no-hitter against Dobbins Minute in softball, and then ripped a 3-run double, and the Lady Trailblazers earned a 7-0 win at Daniel Boone over Dobbins Minute. Big win for the Lady Trailblazers. Dobbins Minute now 14-10, 2-6 in the Big 7 softball. And again, Daniel Boone goes to 20-9 on the season and 5-1, remaining in a virtual tie in first place in the league. So big wins there for the ladies in softball. And I think I got them all covered. Let's run down all the scores from yesterday. Boone beat Dobbins Minute 7-0. Science Hill all over Volunteers 16-1. Elizabeth and the Lady Cyclones over Johnson County 9-3. Unicoi County's Lady Blue Devils beat Sullivan South 5-2. East over Happy Valley 12-3. Unaka 13, University High 5, and Sullivan North over North Green, as we told you, 8 to 7 in extra innings. Today, Science Hill, Daniel Boone. That's going to be a barn burner right there for sure. Again, Science Hill and Daniel Boone, that's 1 and 2 playing today, getting with it, getting after it at 4:30 in gray. That's 2 first-place teams in the Big 7. Science Hill and Daniel Boone and Crockett all 5-1 of the league. Then you have Cherokee 3-3, Dobbins Minute at 2-6. Tennessee High 1-6, Volunteer at 0-4 in Big 7 softball. 3 Rivers Conference, Elizabethton at 7-0, Unicoi County at 7-1, Sullivan East Ladies at 6-2, Sullivan South Lady Rebels at 4-4, Happy Valley at 2-6, Sullivan Central's Lady Cougars at 2-7, and in the cellar, Johnson County at 1-8 in girls softball in the 3 Rivers Conference. Then in the Watauga Valley Conference, you have Unaka 8-0, Cloudland 3-2, Sullivan North 4-4. North Green 2-3, University High's Ladies 2-5, and Hampton's Lady Bulldogs at 0-5. Your schedule today, busy day, beautiful day for softball. Science Hill, Daniel Boone, Elizabeth, huge right here, Unicoi County rematch from earlier in the season. Lady Cyclones will go to Unicoi County, 5 o'clock first pitch. Sullivan North at Sullivan Central at 4:30, and girls softball and South Green will be at Unaka. And that's your high school softball schedule for today. In soccer from yesterday, Science Hill beat Tennessee High 5-1. Chucky Doak 7, University High nothing in soccer, and Cherokee beat Daniel Boone 3-1 in boys high school soccer from yesterday and last night. One more story coming out of Southwest Virginia. Justin Reed, 12 strikeouts. Twin Springs, a 5-inning rout of their cross-county rival, the Rye Cove War Eagles, 10-0 final score. Eagles now 8-4, 3-2 overall. Twin Springs improves to 9-3 and 4-1 in the conference. Also out of Southwest Virginia, Zach James and Bryson Collins, each with 2 RBIs for Y Central as they double up Ridgeview 8-4, beat the Wolfpack. Mason Jones had a double and 2 RBIs for Ridgeview. Abington 13, Gate City 3. The Falcons make quick work of the Blue Devils and a 5-inning Mountain 7 win. Thomas Francisco had a big night for Abington. 2 home runs, including a grand salami, and driving in 7. Also walked twice. T.J. Taylor 1 for 3 and had 3 RBIs for the Falcons. Landon Turner for Gate City in losing calls, 1 for 2 with an RBI, a run scored, and a walk. Lehigh all over Union 11-2. Lee got its first Mountain 7 district win of the season and a standout performance from Jonah Hilton, who went 4 for 4 and drove in 3 for the Lehigh Generals. Also in softball, that is softball, I should say, from Southwest Virginia, and baseball. That's baseball right there. Let's see, girls soccer, Central beat Ridgeview 3-0. John Battle 2, Honaker 0. Abington shuts out Gate City in girls soccer 6-0. In boys soccer, Science Hill beat Tennessee High 5-1. And why Central shuts out Ridgeview 1-0 in boys high school soccer in Southwest Virginia. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look and see what's coming up next. And all our sports in. Greg Salyer joins us coming up in a few minutes. But first, it's time out for one of our great sponsors. That would be our buddy Jeff Bingham from B&H Wealth Strategies here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. One of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show is our good friend again, President Jeff Bingham of B&H Wealth Strategies, located on Center Street here in Kingsport, right across from Mayfair United Methodist Church. The website is BHretire.com. The phone number, 247-1152. And Commander Bingham, you have what you call the I'm not going to break out into Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons, thank goodness, but you have what you call the Four Seasons experience. So tell us what that's all about with B&H Wealth Strategies.
First of all, I think you probably should break out into song, but I'm not sure we would finish the segment here this morning, so I guess not. With better idea not to.
Just let it go.
Okay. The Four Seasons experience it really is a take on, if anybody is familiar with or has ever stayed in a Four Seasons hotel anywhere in the world, and it is an experience like no other that you will ever have. From, like I said, from the moment that you walk, really, you pull into or near the hotel, from the time you go into the lobby till the time you check out and leave, you want for nothing. They anticipate your needs. They take care of you from start to finish. It is phenomenal what they're able to do. And I've always been very impressed. I've been fortunate enough over my lifetime, my business lifetime, to have stayed in them on several occasions. And like I said, I've kind of taken that with me, and I actually have read the book. They're renowned for this out there. And so there's a book that you can read by the founder of the Four Seasons called their business philosophy about it. And we really have tried to model our process around that. And like I said, I've talked to everybody about this, is that, at the end of the day, we manage money for our clients. That's how I get paid. And that's how we get paid, and that's certainly where our area of expertise is, and I think I am as good as anybody that's out there in doing that. And I don't mean to. I've just been doing it a long time, so I've kind of seen it all, and been there, done that, and got some scarring from doing that, but I've also learned a lot from doing that. So, but what is different about us is that the experience that we can create for our clients, and I think that's why we've had clients that have been with us for the 50 years or the 52 years that we've been in. We literally have clients that have been with us the whole time. And our clients tend to stick with us. And they do that because we take care of them and we try to anticipate their needs. And we have, from the fact that, as I said, we talk about their money, but we also talk about their lives. We talk about their health and what they can do to have a healthy, long lifestyle. We don't want to run out of money, but we also don't want to run out of our health during our lifetime and spend all of our money at the end of our lifetime on sick care. We really want to try to and focus on what we call health care, which is what our country does not do, what this society does not do at this point in time. And I think that will change over time. But we're trying to do that for our clients today. We're trying to be in front of that, and we have a partnership and an alliance with Performance Medicine, which is the only medical practice in this part of the world that does that type of thing. And we can talk more about that at some other point in time. But that's one of the things. I mean, we provide names and lists should you need care, should you get sick and need care. We have relationships that we have developed with all the long-term care, assisted living, nursing homes around here. We have private caregiver lists that we provide for our clients. Again, we're trying to anticipate what their needs are going to be. Like I said, we've been doing this, and these are the things that happen in their lives, and people are scared and they don't have these resources, and we want to be that resource for people. And those are a couple of things right there we can kind of go through. We have relationships with accounting firms. We're not accountants, we're not attorneys, but we build relationships with those. We have a list of those. We try to put the right client with the right personality of CPA or attorney. Everybody's not going to be the same fit. So, our job is to know our clients, to love our clients. We call it hugging our customers. And we want to make sure that we understand them enough that we get them into the right places throughout their phases of life in doing that. Like I said, from the moment that we meet them, from they walk in and have that first visit to the very last time they come in, to when their kids are coming in here and meeting with with us and we're passing it to the next generation, we really want to have that. They all have that experience that is second to none out there. Because, like I said, most people think we're all the same. I think our Four Seasons experience changes that, and we'll show that we're not.
247-1152. Again, the website is BHretire.com. Again, they're located here on Center Street in Kingsport. Again, securities and registered investment advisory services offered through Silver Oak Securities Incorporated, member of FINRA and SIPC. B&H Wealth Strategies and Silver Oak Securities Incorporated are not affiliated. 247-1152. Call today. Talk to Jeff and Reed, the staff folks, about the Four Seasons experience. B&H Wealth Strategies, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Appreciate him very much. Our buddy, of course, Jeff Bingham from B&H Wealth Strategies. He'll join us on Friday. We're going to be live at Food City. Come by for a few minutes. Be at Food City on Clinchfield Street in downtown Kingsport. We're live here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Lunchtime is upon us here, and so it is busy at the drive-thru, busy here, but not too busy for you to come through, and we'll get you in, get you out, get you on your way. More college football news. Former Tennessee quarterback Quentin Normandy has landed and surfaced and has enrolled at the University of Houston. Normandy, a 6'4" junior, won the starting job for the Vols last fall, played in 6 games for an injury. Again, he has moved on, so he will, again, show his talents for the Cougars, University of Houston. That's where Quentin Normandy has committed to resurface and transfer from Tennessee. Let's go back to some NASCAR news. We told you earlier in the show, Bristol Motor Speedway NASCAR officials announcing that UNOH 200 Truck Series and the Bush's Beans 150 Modified Series race will move from Wednesday to Thursday starting this year. And so that'll be coming up, starting up in the fall, of course. That means that'll be happening on Thursday night. Friday night will be the Food City 300, the old ball cap we got on. And then also on Saturday night, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. So all that's coming up. Food City Family Race Night. I think what I'm hearing is going to stay on Thursday, and they're going to give some more details about that. So it's going to stay there and have a little twist to it, a little turn, a little twist. And so we'll find out more about that when Food City announces that to the general public. Ford announcing that the Mustang model replacing the Fusion in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series in 2019. The Ford Mustang has competed in the Xfinity Series since 2011, winning championships in all but one season. It has taken Team Penske to 4 owners' championships in the last 5 years and carried Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to consecutive driver championships in 2011 and 2012. So the Ford Mustang, the 4th different Cup model in NASCAR, following the Thunderbird, Taurus, and the Fusion. And so the Ford Mustang will be on board coming up in 2019 in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. And Ford has 6 organizations and 13 teams in its NASCAR lineup, including the Wood Brothers Racing, Roush Fenway Racing, Team Penske, Stuart Haas, Front Row Motorsports, and Go Fast Racing. So all that's going on again with Ford Mustang coming to NASCAR beginning in 2019. And last but not least, race cars are scheduled to fire back up Friday night. 2 nights from now at Kingsport Speedway with the weekly program for the NASCAR Wheeling All-American Series. Beside the marquee 60 laps for the feature late model stock class, there are twin features, the Pure 4 division, and features for the Mod 4, Mod Street, and Pure Street divisions. Practice and qualifying will be followed by racing, scheduled to begin right around 8 o'clock on Friday night, again at the Concrete Jungle, Kingsport Speedway, off of John B. Dennis in Kingsport. So racing starts at 8 o'clock, and again a 60-lap feature featuring late model stock car, Chris Van Dyke and the boys, Zeke Shell, and all those guys will crank it up Wayne Hill and get with it on Friday night from the Concrete Jungle. Tom Taylor Sports Show. We are live again at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Again, coming up top of the hour, we got our buddy Greg Sauer going to join us from the Major League Baseball update. Lots to talk about in Major League Baseball. So before he's here and gets here, let's go ahead and run down the schedule for today. And then when he gets here, we'll just key on some of the stuff going on around the league. So in the National League, 1, 2, 3 day games. Colorado at Pittsburgh. The Reds and Tyler Mahle on the mound in Milwaukee. St. Louis will be in Chicago against John Lust and the Cubs. All those are day games. 12:35, Colorado at Pittsburgh. 1:40, the Reds in Milwaukee. Cardinals and Cubs at Wrigley beginning at 2:20 this afternoon. Under the lights tonight, Washington at New York to battle the Mets. Philadelphia in Atlanta. San Francisco at Arizona, and the Los Angeles Dodgers in San Diego to battle the Padres. In the American League for this Wednesday, got 1, 2, 3, 4 day games in the junior circuit. Baltimore at Detroit. Texas, Cole Hamels on the mound in Tampa Bay in a 1:10 start. White Sox in Oakland to battle the A's, and Kansas City and Toronto north of the border in Toronto, Canada, beginning at 4:07. Later on tonight, you have Cleveland and Minnesota. You also have the Boston Red Sox in LA to battle the Angels, and the world champion Houston Astros. They are going to be on the road again tonight against Mike Leake and the Seattle Mariners in Seattle. 7th-ranked Tennessee softball team, the Lady Vols, scored 7 runs in the second inning to beat East Tennessee State's Ladies 11-3 last night at Parker Lee Stadium. The Bucks now 13-23, and for Tennessee, they just continue to keep on keeping on. The Vols are now 38-8. First runs the Bucks scored against Tennessee since 2008. They've been shut out usually every time they play them. They also snapped their 23-inning scoring drought by plating a run in the 4th inning, again losing, as we said, 11-3. But again, at least scoring. They haven't been scoring a lot when they play the Lady Vols softball team, so they now go to 38-8, and the Lady Bucks are 13-23 on the season in girls, or women's in this case, women's college softball. So we are live here again at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Again, coming up, you got catering opportunities, and as we said, all kinds of parties coming up. End of the year school parties. You've got field days coming up, Vacation Bible School coming up. You have, oh gosh, I'm not, the list goes on and on. Wedding receptions, class reunions, and it just goes on and on and on. So, one thing, I'm going to get this tile fixed, driving me nuts. So, anyway, all that's happening. And so you can stop by here or give them a call at 952-0031 or go to CFA-ChickFilAJC.com and check out how you can have it delivered. Order 24 hours in advance, please, for delivery. And they can bring it right to you, whether it's chicken minis or Chick-fil-A chicken biscuits for our breakfast get-together, or fruit trays or Greek yogurt parfait. Any of those are deliverable, of course. Then you get into the packaged meals and salads. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. You can get it with chips and cookies, chips, a superfood side, fruit cup. I mean, any way you want it, you can get here on the menu and check it out. You can get a spicy chicken sandwich, pick up or delivery. Chilled grilled chicken sub sandwich, pick up or delivery. The market salad, pick up or delivery. So all these available. All you really need to do is just kind of go on the website at CFAJC.com, see exactly what you want and how you want it, and then give them a call or get a hold of them on the web at CFAJC.com. So there you go. That's what's going on. And, of course, if you have a breakfast meeting coming up, chicken minis, you can't go wrong with that. Chicken mini trays, there's 2 different ones, one to serve 5 people, one to serve up to 10 people. Then the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuits and the fruit trays are pick up and delivery, as we said, as well as the Greek yogurt parfait. Those are pick up and delivery available, too. Coming up, Joe Vento joins us from the Johnson City Press Kingsport Times News. Also, Jeremy Livesey stops by to give us the very latest on NBA basketball playoffs. And coming up in just a few minutes, Greg Salyer joins us in about 8 or 9 minutes. He'll be here to give us the very latest, what's going on in Major League Baseball. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're live at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Right back after you hear this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Their one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's chicken minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Back at the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live here at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. We'll be tomorrow at Champion Chevrolet, where it's raining down savings here in the springtime. Again, the Mountain Empire's #1 Chevy dealer for 10 years in a row. Again, for example, right now at Champion Chevrolet, the 2018 Equinox and Trax, $6,000 off MSRP. The 2018 Cruise and Malibu LT, 20% off MSRP. The 2018 Suburban and Tahoes, 0% for 72 months. Also at Champion Chevrolet, they have the 2018 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off MSRP. As we've told you, the race last week, of course, the trucks they used up there to get around, to pull the shuttles and the trams, if you will, and the shuttles, those are now going to be put on sale for slightly used. We're talking however long it took you to drive around Bristol Motor Speedway over 2-3 days, you're probably talking less than 100 miles on these trucks. They're brand spanking new. They're black and white to choose from. And so those are going to be marked down. We'll find out more about that tomorrow when we get there at Champion Chevrolet. And again, don't forget the 18 Cruise and the 18 Malibu LT are 20% off MSRP. So it's a great, great value, again, from Champion Chevrolet. In fact, I rode in Tanya gave me a lift up in the rain the other day, and I rode down the hill in what'd she tell me was it Equinox or Traverse? One of the two, man. It was nice. I mean, it was a sweet ride. So anyway, 2018 Silverado Crew Cabs, all the trucks that were buzzing around Bristol Motor Speedway carrying the trams and the shuttles are now going to be marked down as slightly used. Again, probably less than, what in a weekend's time at Bristol? Less than probably 50 or 60 miles on them. So, the Queen's watching. Oh. She's an ice. Makes me laugh. 2018 Silverado Crew Cab All-Stars, $11,000 off MSRP. Again, the Equinox and Trax, $6,000 off MSRP. The Cruise and Malibu LTs, 20% off MSRP. And the 2018 Tahoes and Suburbans, 0% for 72 months or 6 years at Champion Chevrolet. Don't forget we have Saturday parts. Morning, Queen. Don't forget we have Saturday parts and service hours to better serve our customers. Champion Chevrolet, we leave you asking, how did they do that? All right, Greg Sauer's going to be here in just a second. In fact, he is here. While he's getting on the cans ready to go here, please don't start hitting those buttons. God, it makes me a nervous wreck. I start getting twitchy. Start grabbing, hitting them buttons.
Just making sure it was on.
I'm going to get duct tape. I'm going to duck it. The other day I had one of my guests is doing this, and I was ready to stroke out. So, anyway, he'll be with us here in just a second. At Sprint, everything, when you go ahead and tell them you heard the show, you get 25% off any accessory at any Sprint store in the Tri-Cities. We thank you for that. It's been working. We appreciate that. For example, the Beats headphones. Man, these are nice, too. The headphones are $249 less, 25% off. You have the Beats headphone earbuds, $149 less, 25%. Mother's Day's coming up. Father's Day's coming up. Graduation's coming up. There's a lot of reasons to grab some of these Beats headphones. Also have these big, round Harman Kardon speakers that hook into your computer, which I've got. Got me one. $250 less 25%. Again, it'll flat put out the juice too. It's a heck of a speaker. It instantly enhances your computer. I mean, this thing is probably about this big around. Of course, it sits right on top of the table, right beside. Just plugs right into the headphone auxiliary jack of your laptop. Rocks it. I'm here to tell you. I was cranking out some Third Day the other day. Had the curtains rattling. Love me some Third Day. Mike Powell and the boys. I don't know if you know this. Totally unrelated, but they broke up. They're doing their farewell tour, and then they're going to call it quits. Boo! I love me some Third Day. So, and I was jamming. You like Don Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about Don Williams in a while, but
I was listening to Don Williams last night. About 2 in the morning. I'm working. I'm thinking,
wow.
I'm listening to Don Williams. I'm listening to Josh Turner.
Yeah.
Like old Josh, why don't we just dance? Baby, turn the lights down low, put on some music soft and slow. And I'm not going to sing to you. I'm not going to croon to you. I'm not going to do that. So, but anyway, he's here, ready to go. He said, I drove across town to talk about Josh Turner. No, came to talk about baseball. But anyway, the Harman Kardon speaker available again at Sprint. Again, those are 25% off when you tell them you heard it here on the show. So, yeah, I was listening to I like me some Don Williams. And let's see, let me think. I'm not a big fan of this lady, but I listened to the song of the night. It kind of hooked me. I don't know why. Of course, I got caught up. I started reading, and I don't know why. I was like, it's a slow night. I'm going to tell myself here, but I started reading about this Miranda Lambert, Blake Shelton breakup, which is, it's kind of gone now. They're all moved on, but, so she comes out, and I was scrolling down YouTube and it says, Miranda Lambert, Tin Man. I said, Tin Man, like the Wizard of Oz. So anyway, I was listening to the song. It's pretty powerful from the standpoint that, as the story goes, I know this has nothing to do with why you're here, but she's getting ready to go out and do the awards. I think it's 2017. About 20 minutes before she goes out, she finds out that he is not with her. He's sitting down in the crowd with another woman.
Oh, wow.
So, so she has to go out and sing this song. I think that's how the story goes. Or she didn't know about it very long before she went out there. So anyway, I listened to that last night and thought that was pretty cool. And then I don't know how I got into that, but I went back to Third Day. So anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, so, Third Day's probably your better bet there.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Get a little bit more meat to the bone.
Yeah.
More meat on the bone on the Third Day. Talking about the Lord. So anyway, we're here live again. Craig's like, I drove across town for this, so we know them youngins.
My wife just went through the drive-thru.
I thought I saw these little kids come in.
No, it's my wife.
I see her right there.
Yeah.
Man, she drives fast to drive through.
Yeah, that's her. That's it. You can tell my license plate on there because of the Cincinnati Reds frame around it that you gave me.
Yeah. Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you gave me that.
Well, it's because I like him. He's a good guy. So I forgot about it. You're right. I did get.
Yeah, you gave me that. It's on my wife's car.
I've got something. I get up every morning. I'm running from pillar to post, but I've got something for you again for the Reds. This guy's a big Reds fan. I am too on the cusp, but he's a whole lot bigger one. So anyway, if I can ever remember to bring it, you'll like it when I get it to you.
Okay, awesome.
What a tease that was. I'm going to bring you something. Like the doctor says, we're going to give you a tetanus shot, and you're going to like it. No, this is something you really will like. So,
okay, good.
Anyway, let's talk a little baseball. And where do we start? You want to start about last night? Want to take a look at the standings? What do you want to start?
We can do that. We can talk a little bit about last night. Had a near no-hitter last night. Of course, we had a few of those already this year. Even Homer Bailey went several innings there with a no-hitter. So, but Patrick Corbin, I think, was getting close last night against the Giants, and Brandon Belt ended that night for him. But so far we haven't had one, but we've had a few close calls. And interesting thing to talk about. Shohei Ohtani, we probably need to talk about him as well. Last night was not his best outing, of course. He didn't show us much in spring training. And, I was kind of wondering a little bit about what might be going on with him. But he came it's like when the season started, though, he just kind of turned it up a notch. And then last night, he had a bad outing on the mound. Of course, left the game with a blister, which that could have been his problem all along and caused him to have the bad outing. But this guy's the real deal. He's hitting and pitching both and doing well at both of those things. So I think he's going to set a trend. I think we're going to start seeing more of these guys who are going to be both pitchers and hitters. And the Reds have a guy in the minor leagues, Hunter Green. He's at Dayton this year in low single A. And they really didn't know when they drafted him if they were going to use him as a pitcher or a shortstop. They decided to make him into a pitcher, but the guy can hit too. So that's just a plus, having a guy like that, especially, in the American League you can DH like Ohtani's doing, but the National League, to have a guy on your bench when he's not pitching that can come off and be a pinch hitter as well, that's a plus for a team.
Donna Greg Sauer, Major League Baseball update. Again, while I'm thinking about Dawn, be sure and go to her website, her Facebook page, check out her pictures. Dawn Lambert Photography does a wonderful job, and she takes a lot of sports pictures, so if you got an event coming up, you want her to come out and shoot for you, and she'll talk to you about that. She can do that. It's called Dawn. She in the business called Dawn Lambert Photography. Mookie Betts, 3 bombs in one game, 3 home runs. Of course, he got started against Ohtani.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, his 3rd career game with 3 home runs, tying Ralph Kiner and Boog Powell for the most 3-homer games in Major League Baseball history by a player 25 or younger.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just coming off an injury too, so he came back with a splash, that's for sure. Only one active player has had more than 3 games with 3 home runs in their career, and that's Albert Pujols. So you start talking about names like that, that's pretty strong, and you got to think, being as young as he is, he's got a good shot to go past Big Albert there and have more games like that in his career. So. The Red Sox have just taken off. They have started off strong, and they're not slowing down.
No, they're the real deal.
Yeah, they really are. I even picked them second in that division, but I may have missed that one. They may not be called.
What's a long season?
It is a very long season.
Evil Empire will say it's a long season.
I'll tell you what. We don't know what any of these teams really have yet. 50 games in.
50 games in.
We'll know what they've got. But they're 3 games ahead of Toronto right now, and 6 games ahead of the Yankees. So they're pretty strong, but you never know. There's still a lot of games left to play.
Greg's been with me for 2 years now, and I remember last year saying, or has it been 3 years? 3 years? It's been with me 3 years.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Anyway, he says 50 games in before you can figure out what kind of team you got. So right now we got most teams playing 15, 16, 17 games, so we still got a ways to go. Your winners last night, Blue Jays take 2 from the Royals. Marlins beat the Yankees. They got problems, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong with Giancarlo Stanton. He's in a slump, the big guy for the Yankees, as they get beat 9-1. Tigers over the Orioles 4-2. Rockies shut out the Pirates 2-0. Excuse me. Indians 6, Twins 1. Rangers beat the Rays 7-2. The Nationals, after getting stung by the Mets in the first week of the season, have come back and they beat the boys in New York last night 5-2. It was the Phillies over the Braves 5-1. Brewers shut out the Reds 2-0. Cardinals 5, Cubs 3. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 1-0. Oakland 10, White Sox 2. Red Sox all over Albert and the boys 10-1 in LA against the Angels. Astros, the defending World Series champions, beat the Mariners 4-1. Dodgers over the Padres 7-3. As Greg said, Diamond starter Patrick Corbin threw a 1-hitter against the Giants. Had a no-no going deep into the game, but lost it. How about the Indians and the Twins playing in Puerto Rico? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's awesome that they're going down and doing that. And, and of course, Lindor hitting that home run, that was huge. The crowd just went nuts because, he's from a little town there in Puerto Rico. And, so the hometown fans were really on his side, and he came through. And, of course, the Indians pulled out that win. So, I like the fact they're going down there. I think we're going to see more and more of that. A lot of players are from Puerto Rico, And if MLB expands, who knows? They might decide to go that direction.
Major League Baseball says the Yankees and the Red Sox may play in London next year. That's kind of interesting.
That is. Wonder what kind of crowds they would receive.
Don't know. The rivalry is big over here, but going over there, I don't know if they understand quite the intensity of the Yankees and Red Sox across the Big Blue. Do you?
No, I don't think they do.
Like know about it in Boston, New York, don't they?
Yeah.
Last week, a little fracas.
Yeah. It was really funny because we had a couple of those going on there at one time and the same day, and I was watching some highlights that night, and my wife was like, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on?" I said, "Well, he threw the ball behind the batter." And she said, "Well, why did he do that?" I said, "Well, because he just wanted to." She said, "Well, I've never seen that before." I said, "Oh, yeah, it happens all the time. Not as much now as it used to." Do you remember Sean Estes was pitching for the Mets one time? And
starting in Kingsport.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. I called his game.
He was in one of those no-win situations where he was starting a game where the day before there had been a lot of issues going on, and I can't remember who the other player was, but this guy comes up and everybody's saying he's got to plunk him, he's got to hit him. Well, it couldn't have turned out any better than it did because he literally threw the pitch behind the batter, didn't hit him, but threw the pitch behind him. And of course, the umpires just went nuts because here we are in the first inning of the game, and they're making all these warnings to both benches and everything, But then they settled down and it was over, and they went out and played ball.
Yeah, I thought about that. Never have. What is an umpire thinking? The first thing is like, really? The first inning?
Yeah.
That's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
I mean, they start mouthing off each other in the first inning. It's like ruh-roh.
Yeah.
And so, I never thought of it from an umpire's perspective. It's like, come on, guys, grow up. But anyway, let's go back to the Nationals. They took the first two in Queens over the Mets. Wasn't really much disagreement from anybody that the Nationals could be the team to beat in the NL East. Through 2.5 weeks, though, the Mets, one of the biggest stories in baseball, 12-2, already built a 6-game cushion on the struggling Nationals. So, but through 2 games at Citi Field, the Nats might be flipping the script. Scored 6 runs in the 8th inning on Monday night to stun the Mets with a big comeback. Last night, they never trailed a 5-2 win. And so, again, right back to what you said, it's a long season.
It is a long season.
The Nationals and the Mets will play each other a lot, interdivision, before it's all said and done. So, anyway, how about the Cardinals? Cardinals off the 4-game sweep of the Reds.
Yeah.
And took one in Wrigley from the Cubs. It's 5 in a row on the road. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the Cardinals I think they're going to be a little better than I thought they were going to be, just from what I've seen. Martinez is showing that he is going to be a legitimate all-star, I believe. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to put up some numbers this year if he continues to play like he has so far. Molina is playing. I think I heard yesterday he's on pace to hit 56 home runs. That's not going to happen, but that's the pace he's on right now, and he started off very strong. The Cardinals are playing much better than I thought they would play at this time of season. The sweep of the Reds, that's no surprise, but and really the fact they beat the Cubs, because the Cubs are very much underachieving at this point, I think.
I've told everybody on the show, if you want to go, and I'm being serious, if you want to go watch Major League Baseball this season, you want to go to Cincinnati, because as the season, if it doesn't get any better, you better pick your seat literally up there, because they've got some of the folks bought the season tickets, but by and large, a lot of the seats will be up for grabs as the season wears on, and they're having what are they now, 3-13?
3-14.
3-14.
Yeah.
Disastrous season. So tickets will be easy to get, wouldn't you think?
Tickets are really easy to get. I would.
Pains me to watch you sit there and just kind of squirm in your seat.
I'll be honest. At this point, I was watching last night's game, and in Milwaukee, and by the way, Sal Romano pitched a good game last night. He really did. He gave up a 2-run home run to Eric Thames, and that was basically it for the whole game. And we're talking about a guy who last year hit 10 home runs against just the Reds. So that's not a bad thing if you're giving up a home run against a guy that last year hit 10 home runs against your team. So, he pitched a good game. Malley's pitched good. Homer Bailey has pitched extremely well for the Reds. So the offense has been the problem. We thought they would be able to score with anybody, but they have shown that they can't do that at this point. they've made a few moves. They've brought up some guys. At this point in time, I'm torn when I watch their games because I don't know if I really want them to win or if I want them to keep losing, so they may make a managerial change because that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I follow a lot of people on Twitter who are ready to lynch Brian Price.
Oh, yeah.
The big thing is, they say they're in a rebuild. So if you're in a rebuild, you want to play your young players that you're bringing up from the minor leagues. Suarez gets hurt. That was unfortunate. He had a very hot start. He was probably the hottest hitter they had on the team before he broke his thumb. So they bring up Alex Blandino from the minor leagues, a guy to play third base. They still have Nick Senzel, which is their number one prospect in the minor leagues, who also is a third baseman. They bring up Alex Blandino, and he starts the first game, and then he sits the bench. And you see Phil Gosselin and Cliff Pennington playing third base. And then I saw that today Alex Blandino's back in the lineup again for the Reds. But you're thinking, okay, if you're really doing a rebuild and you're going to get creamed anyway, why not play these guys, get them some major league experience, let them go out there and see what they can do. One guy even, and I laughed about this because one guy even said, maybe the reason Brian Price doesn't play Alex Blandino goes back to their college days. Price pitched for Cal Berkeley, and Blandino played at Stanford. So they're big rivals. So they said, well, maybe that's why he doesn't want to play Blandino. I don't know. But, there's a lot of questionable things going on there. You look at decisions that he makes, and we don't have all the inside information. We don't know what players are truly available, who's not, and all that. But I'll just be honest. The other night when Castillo came out of that game and had pitched extremely well, and the Reds did pick up that win. He did get the win, but he'd given up two earned runs, but he has 2 runners on base. And when Cody Reed came out of the bullpen, I looked over at my daughter and I said, "Well, Luis Castillo is going to be charged with 4 earned runs because there's no way that Cody Reed's going to keep those guys on the base." And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. So if you're a starting pitcher and you go out of the game and you've got guys on base and you see Cody Reed coming out of the bullpen, you're like, "Oh no, here goes."
We're waving a white flag.
Yeah. So anyway,
how did I know this was going to morph into a Reds report? I just knew it was.
Yeah.
My man is all about the Reds.
But I'm going to tell you, if I was Bob Castellini, I wouldn't just be thinking about Brian Price. I'd be thinking about even higher up. I'd be looking at the guy who put this team together.
Walt Jocketty?
Well, Dick Williams, actually,
Dick Williams.
Now. Walt Jocketty's been promoted above him. But,
okay.
I'd be looking at those guys and saying, okay, let's get our act together, or I'm just going to clean house. That's the point that I would be in. I mean, the Reds. The
scary part is that this is their act getting together. This may be all you got.
Well, that's true.
Maybe all the gas in the tank.
Let's face it. They got 4 other guys on their payroll that's better managers than the guy that's in their dugout right now.
There you go.
John Farrell is now an advisor for the Reds. Buddy Bell is an advisor for the Reds. I mean, come on. Put Buddy Bell back in the dugout for a year because he doesn't want the job. He doesn't want the job full time. Put him in there for the rest of the season, and let him try to salvage what he can. But then find the right guy. Then over the course of the season, put him in place when the season's over.
There's some open wounds over here. He's bleeding red. Some open wounds. Speaking of open wounds, how about Stanton up there getting booed by the Yankees? Giancarlo Stanton, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, left 4 runners on base. He's now batting .197, 29 strikeouts and 66 at-bats, being booed after nearly every out he makes. Joe Vento's coming in a few minutes. He's a Yankees guy. We'll see. I bet he just goes bananas when he gets in there.
Yeah.
But the Yanks are struggling without him right now, and so we'll see if they can get it turned around. But so far, not so good for the big guy, Giancarlo Stanton.
It comes down to what have you done for me lately?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
I mean, when he started off the season with those 2 home runs on opening day, everybody's like, "Whoa, look what we got! Look what's going to happen!" And yeah, he's going through a cold spell. Is Giancarlo Stanton going to finish the season hitting like he is right now?
No,
sir, he will not. He is going to crank it up. When it gets warm.
I was going to say, New York, this time of year, they've had snow up there.
Yeah.
Cold temperatures, sleet and rain. So
it's cold. The ball's not flying.
It's not the way hitter likes it.
No. In June and July, let's see if we're still talking about this because, and even in August, I mean, when it's blazing in August, see what happens because he's going to be knocking the cover off the ball. He's got the guys around him in the lineup to hit well, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
All right, let's run down the standings before I let you go. American League East, Boston 14-2. Again, Blue Jays won 3 in a row, 7 out of their last 10. They're currently in second.
Yeah.
The Evil Empire is in third at 8-8. Baltimore 5-12, and Tampa Bay at 4-13. Any surprises there?
Toronto's a surprise. I didn't expect them to be as good as they've been. Of course, they've had a big winning streak there for a while. They've done most of that lately. Thought the Yankees would be a little bit better than the 500 team at this point. But, like I said, it's early. And Boston is really showing that they want to be the team to beat, and that's kind of where they're at this point.
In the Central, Cleveland, pretty tight race already. Cleveland half game better than Minnesota. Detroit 3.5 back. White Sox 4.5 back. In Kansas City, a dismal start to their season like the Reds. They're 3-12, 6 games off the pace. To me, that's a surprise, but what else in the Central may jump out at you?
We kind of said earlier that it was going to be a 2-team race, Cleveland and Minnesota, and I think that's what we're going to see throughout the whole season. Those last 3 teams there, Detroit, Chicago, and Kansas City, I think that's just up for grabs as to who finishes 3rd, 4th, and 5th there. I think any one of those teams could finish in each one of those places. So I like a good race, I think, between Cleveland and Minnesota for the rest of the year, and I think it's going to be a good pennant race there in the Central. But I think it's definitely just going to be between those 2 teams.
American League West, the Angels 13-4, Houston 11-7, the defending World Series champs. Angels by 2.5 game lead. Then comes Seattle, Oakland, and Texas that are on par right now.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of thought that. Well, I said that the Angels would be a lot better, and they are, and they're even better than I thought they would be. In spring training, Ohtani didn't show us much, but he has really shown us that he belongs where he is. And hopefully that blister won't affect him in any other ways, because sometimes the guy will get a blister and it'll change his delivery a little bit and he'll mess something up. So hopefully that doesn't happen with Ohtani. But I think the Angels are for real. Houston's Houston. They're gonna be right there all season. They're 2.5 games back now, but I think that division lead is going to flip flop several times before the season's over.
In the National League East, it's the Mets, 2 games better than Philadelphia, Atlanta, Washington, Miami. Got to be surprised the Nationals 500, but again, long season. But the Mets, again, 7 out of their last 10. They've lost 2 straight, but they've won 7 out of the last 10. Phillies won 8 out of their last 10, so they're starting to make some noise in the East.
Yeah, I picked the Phillies number 2 in that division, Mets number 3, and Washington to be the winners. It's going to be more competitive maybe than what I originally thought. We'll see what the Mets are doing maybe 100 games in, see if their pitching staff looks the same way it looks now. They're good. Their pitching staff is good. They have one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. My question is, are they going to be able to pitch all year? Are they going to be able to stay healthy? That's the question.
Joe Vento joins us coming up next here from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Also a little bit later on, Jeremy Livesey stops by, breaking down the NBA playoffs for us as we get into another round of NBA hoops tonight. We're talking, you see on the screen, wrapping this thing up with our buddy Greg Salyer. In the Central, Pirates with a game lead over the Cardinals. Milwaukee 2.5 back, Cubs 3 back, and the Reds in the cellar dwellers right now. So surprised the Pirates after getting rid of everybody, or
absolutely,
where they are?
Yeah, absolutely. And now Josh Harrison's hurt. Let's see what happens with that. But these young guys that the Pirates have come on strong. Jameson Taillon has shown that he is the pitcher that everybody thought he was. And to be honest with you, I saw him a time or 2 last year on TV, and I wasn't super impressed. But he has impressed me this year. He's got it. And he's exactly he's becoming the major leaguer that they always thought he could be as a prospect. So, he's the guy as far as their pitching staff goes. So they've been a big surprise. Milwaukee's not done. They're definitely gonna crank it up a notch. I think they're getting Christian Yelich back. I think he came off the disabled list yesterday. That's going to be a good move for them. Yeah, and the Cubs. The Cubs maybe they're not as good as I thought they were at first. I saw them play against the Reds, and it was almost and the Reds. That's one of the Reds' wins. So they played that. They had a 2-game series. One game was rained out. They played the one game. The Reds picked up a win there, and that was their first win of the season. So the Cubs, weren't real impressive. So we'll have to wait and see because they do have the guys to do it. And Rizzo's back. He's had that sore back and been out. So maybe he'll be able to change things. I mean, he's definitely the leader in the clubhouse.
Activated him off the DL, so Rizzo's back for the Cubs. Then in the NL West, Arizona 2.5 better than Colorado. Dodgers continue to flounder. They're a 500 ball club over the last 10 games, although they've won 3 straight, so they're starting to get it together. You got Arizona, Colorado behind them by 2.5, then the Dodgers, then San Francisco, then as expected the Padres in the cellar.
Yeah, Colorado's maybe a little better than I thought they were going to be. The Dodgers definitely not as good. When I think Kershaw lost his first 2 starts, that's not anything we expected to see happen. So, like I said, we're early in the season. Things are going to change. I'd be real surprised if the season ends when the standings are just like they are today.
Oh no, it's a long. So when you're doing terrible, everybody says it's a long season. So for a lot of these teams, it is indeed a long season. Here's your schedule again: day games: Colorado, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Cardinals in Chicago. Tonight, Washington and New York, Philadelphia and Atlanta, Giants at Arizona, the Dodgers at San Diego. In the American League for today, at 4-day games: Baltimore at Detroit, Texas at Tampa Bay, White Sox in Oakland, Kansas City at Toronto. Tonight under the lights, you've got Cleveland against Minnesota. You've also got tonight the Red Sox continuing their series on the left coast against the Angels, and Houston in Seattle against Mike Leake and the Seattle Mariners. So there you go. You hungry?
Absolutely.
All right, come over, get you something to eat, and be back in here tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, not tomorrow,
next week.
Next week, not tomorrow, next week. Coming up next, good job as always, my buddy Greg Sauer, the Major League Baseball update. I didn't get you that license frame thing, didn't I?
You did.
I forgot about that.
You did.
I don't know what I did 2 hours ago sometimes, so goodness gracious. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we will jump in and talk to my man Joe Bento, talking Bucks, and he was up at Bristol Motor Speedway over the weekend. We'll see what he thinks about BMS and everything else going on in his world in sports. Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News Sports Director joins us next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Massive inventory, huge savings for our February model year closeout sale at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. 17 Silverado 1500 Crew and Double Cabs, $12,000 off MSRP. 17 Corvettes, 20% off MSRP. 18 Equinox, $4,000 off MSRP. 17 Traverse, $6,000 off MSRP. 17 Spark, $10,995. Take advantage of these great savings while they last. Champion also offers Saturday parts and service hours and online shopping 24/7. Champion Chevrolet, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Max Medicine Mart doesn't want you to save one day. They want you to save every day with a Good Food Grocery loyalty card. Good Food Grocery, the store within a store at Max Medicine Mart. When you spend $50 or more, you receive 1 punch on your loyalty card. 5 punches, you get 20% off your total purchases. And when you get 10 punches, you get 30% off all your total purchases at Max Medicine Mart. It's just that easy. Stop by and get your Good Food Grocery loyalty card today. When you spend $50 more, you get a punch. 5 punches, you get 20% off. And 10 punches, you get 30% off your total purchases with a Good Food Grocery loyalty card from Max Medicine Mart. Max Medicine Mart, Center Street in Kingsport. Make tracks to Max with a Good Food Grocery loyalty card.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Look right here. Look at my buddy. Look up there. Isn't he a nice one? I think the world of this guy right here. It took me almost a year and a half to get him over here. And now I want him over here at my office and I can get him because he gives so much to the show. And we appreciate him very much. You see on the screen our buddy Joe Avento from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Your official title is sports director now, is that right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I was just telling him off air. I'm not trying to sugar him, but I think for what they do, for the staff they have, and the area you cover, for two papers, all the way up in the coal fields, all the way down probably to the fringes of Greenville, this draw circle, they do a phenomenal job. I mean, I know I had Birchfield on yesterday, and he was covering Michael Morrell's brand new announcement, UNC Asheville coach. He did a story on the new change in the track schedule at Bristol. Then he went out and covered a baseball game. And again, I'm not trying to schmooze this guy, but there's a lot of talent. I mean, I can come here and do this, and you may do this in your life, but, these guys, they'll take off a softball hat, put on a baseball hat, or a NASCAR hat, and they do it well. So kudos to you and your staff. You do a great job.
You mentioned Jeff Birchfield. I never miss an opportunity to remind people that he does the work of 2 or 3 people. And he does it with a smile on his face, and he loves what he's doing, and you can tell. And he loves nothing more than being at Bristol Motor Speedway, usually for 3 days. But he was the only guy that was happy it got rained out, so he could come back another day.
Yeah, he's a huge race fan. Now you were up there, got a chance to see. You're up there hanging out with Birchfield, doing photos, pictures, and he was doing the writing part of it. But what was your take of BMS? You've been up there before, haven't you?
I covered 40 races in a row at one point. Yeah, 20 years without missing it. But that was before we had Birchfield. He covers 20 races in 1 year, it seems like, My take was it's just a shame that the weather was so bad. And I heard on the broadcast that weather has affected every NASCAR weekend this year, at least one day during the events at the track. And it's just such a shame because you remember the days when there would be an empty seat in the house. And now right now they're struggling a little bit to sell all the tickets, and then you throw in some bad weather, and boy, it was just a shame to see that kind of crowd there. But then again, there are a lot of us that wouldn't have been there if we weren't told we had to be, just because it was raining, it was snowing, it was cold, it was generally miserable.
Well, case in point, for you folks going to Richmond this weekend, that's this front that's coming through. We're going right up the East Coast. They're calling for a lot of rain in Richmond this weekend too. So yes, we caught the brunt of the complaints from folks, but as you pointed out, 2 weeks ago they had a record cold in Texas, had a low crowd there. So yeah, weather is very much playing havoc. I know Monday when I came out of the press box after the race and walked to my car, and I know it's like a ninny, but it was flat, cold, and those folks sit out in looked like wind chills about 24, 26 degrees. So
it was actually snowing when we were in Victory Lane. It was spitting just little sleet and snow.
Oh yeah. So anyway, Kyle Busch wins it. He'll bump and run, bumps Larson out of the way, and gets the Cup race. His 7th at Bristol. His 21st or 7th Cup race. His 21st all told. I mean, this is his track now. He moves past Bill Elliott in the all-time wins list. Now he's chasing another Hall of Famer, Buck Baker. So obviously, before it's all said and done, there's going to be a section of Bristol Motor Speedway when he retires named the Kyle Busch section. Has to be.
But nobody's going to want to sit in it. they asked him after the race if he heard any boos because the crowd was so small, and he kind of talked about that he didn't. The funniest thing was they asked him if he was better friends with Brad Keselowski now because he caused the caution that let them bunch up and let Kyle Busch pass him. And as much as that helped him, he said, "I wouldn't go that far."
No, don't push it.
So
far,
will they add a section with his name on it because people love to hate him? Maybe, maybe people will go sit in his section and boo him.
Boo him, yeah. Well, generally they do it after he retires, but again, Kyle Busch is say what you want. I mean, a lot of folks don't like him. The old boy can drive a race car. It's very obvious.
Well, and that little bump and run, I think everybody looked at that as a great winning move. Had Kyle Larson wrecked, everybody would have said it was a dirty move, don't you think? But since he didn't, it was a good move, and it came at the right time. And at the end, Kyle Larson couldn't catch back up with him.
Again, we were talking to our buddy. It's got a note that
Listen to me talking about NASCAR.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
You can tell I've been hanging around with Birchfield.
It's rubbing off. I just got a note. Our baseball game Friday night's been moved back to 7:30. It says volunteers having transportation issues. They want to play later Friday. Varsity game at 7:30. So Friday night at 7 for alumni game. So all the alumni are coming back. All the I know Nathan Copeland's going to throw out the first pitch. It's going to be a great night. Friday night, alumni night at O'Brien Stadium. We're on to Joe Vento. So again, just FYI, the game's been pushed back to 7:30 on Friday night. Oh, so Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, making a move yesterday right after the race. They announced we're going to move everything from Wednesday to Thursday. So you have Thursday night, truck race, and then wheel and modified, the Bush's Beans 150. Friday night, this one here is sandwiched between the other two dates, the Food City 300. It stays the same. And then Saturday, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. I think they got it right, moving all three, putting them together so the fans can come and go boom, boom, boom.
It sure makes sense for the people coming in from out of town.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
And Food City Family Race Night, I think, don't quote me on this, I think it's going to stay put. They're going to do some tweaking to it. It's going to remain on Thursday night, but I don't know all the particulars there. But we do know the races have been moved, and so they move on to Richmond, and they'll come back in the fall. U.S. Short Track Nationals coming up next month. We're going to talk more about that starting next week and get some folks in about that. We're talking to our buddy Joe Vento. So grade out what you saw for this weekend. Quality of racing. I know the crowds were down. We know that because of the weather. But quality of racing, A, B, C, or D. How would you grade it?
B? No one's ever asked me to analyze NASCAR like that. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Of course, I was looking at most of it through a picture about this big, looking through a camera. It looked good that way.
So walk into the media room, he embarrasses the fire out of me. And you said, as I walked by, what did you say?
You seem to remember something that I don't remember saying.
Okay,
so
then good.
Maybe somebody else said it.
Maybe somebody else said it. Then okay, it was good because.
I promise you, I was shooting pictures more than I was eating. How's that?
Yeah, but you sent me a cool text too. That made my day up there. So.
Well, I told Tom it sounded like the voice of God billowing over the speakers. And you might not know this, but you did manage throughout the race weekend to say over 14 million words on those those speakers. Because I was there all week and I was counting. And you even said a couple of them twice.
Yes, I did. I repeated myself a couple times, didn't I? Goodness, but we had a blast. I can tell you, I had a great time up there. Love working for Jerry and those folks.
You do a great job there. It's something.
I appreciate that. That's okay. Move on. Let's take it off me and talk. Let's talk about Bucks. We got the Bucks. Coach Forbes. Let's start there. Some recruits. What's the very latest in basketball?
Well, he signed a junior college guard this week. The thing that he's got a lot of talent coming back, a lot of interior talent. He needs some perimeter players, and he signed a junior college guard. And if ever a guy was named to shoot three-pointers, this guy's name is Trey Boyd III. His first name is a 3, and his third name is a 3.
Wow, that's neat.
So he's from Memphis, and he was ranked, I guess, the 35th best junior college player in the country. He's a 6'4" guard. Now, sometimes that makes people cringe. They say, well, Forbes is bringing in another junior college guy. He's bringing in more high school guys than people are realizing. Last year's team had 2 freshmen. They both made the all-freshman team in the Southern Conference. They were out of high school. Right now he has signed 2 high school players that are coming in, one from Milwaukee and one from Winston-Salem. And the one in Winston-Salem, Davian Williamson, was the MVP of the North Carolina High School State Championship game. He's a point guard. He's also on the line for 2 more high school guys this week. If he gets them, it's going to be a blockbuster class. He's going to have a class like he hasn't had yet. which would include 4 high school players. So, everybody sprinkles in a transfer or two, except maybe a couple schools who aren't allowed to, which will remain nameless.
So the knock on him, it's all JUCOs, is not true, obviously. The judges
It's not.
put that to rest.
I mean, he obviously, his connection, he's got a lot of connections with the JUCOs because he coached a couple of years there. And, in fact, the one that he just signed is coming from the school that he coached, Northwest Florida State. Their best big man next year, his name will be Jerome Rodriguez. He came from Northwest Florida State last year, but had to sit out because he hurt his shoulder and had surgery. So he's going to have a couple of JUCO guys, but he's going to have 2 sophomores in the start lineup that were high school recruits, and it wouldn't surprise me if one of these other high school kids come in and start as a freshman. So, yeah, I think he gets a bad rap, and I hear it everywhere I go that the entire team is transfers, and it's not. It's not. In fact, it's probably 50-50 right now, and it's trending more toward high school players than college players.
Have the Bucks released their schedule yet for next year?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
So
yet.
just
It's hard to do, and here's why. Nobody wants to play him.
No.
They know that his team is always an upset waiting to happen, and it's just hard for him to get games.
Yeah. Well, the cream puffs don't want to play because they know they're going to get their brains beat out, and the big boys don't want to play because they realize there's a chance they can beat them. So
I'd be interesting to see if they can get a game with UNC Asheville.
Yes.
Because Michael Morrell from Elizabethton was introduced yesterday,
Yep.
and at his press conference, he told the people in Asheville that he fell in love with college basketball in the Asheville Civic Center in the early 90s.
watching the Bucks.
He didn't say that.
Oh.
He just said watching games. I don't think he was allowed to mention ETSU
I got
at
you.
his introductory conference at Asheville. But boy, he did a great job. He was impressive. He was funny. He was entertaining. He laid out his plan. I could see how he got hired. If his job interview went half as well as his introductory press conference, I would have hired him, even if I didn't have a job open.
Yeah, he's a sharp kid.
Yeah, no, he did
Sharp
great.
young
He
man.
did really well. And you realize, as a Division I head coach, for 11 years, he's been in the NCAA tournament 9 times. So wherever he goes, they win. That's not putting too much emphasis on what the assistant coaches do. But if he gets Asheville there, and they're right there, they're a 20-win team anyway. So he's inheriting a good program. He won't be intimidated by the situation. He knows how to get to the NCAA tournament, and he knows how to play there. So it'll be interesting.
Success breeds success. Hello to Jerry Keller. Good morning, sir. Thanks for watching the show. We're live here again. We are at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City again on this Wednesday. Then you switch gears. We talked a little Coach Forbes basketball. What's the latest as the Bucks wrap up spring practice for football?
Well, we all know what the news was during the spring football. With a few days left, head coach Randy Sanders was put on administrative leave. We found out that it was because he slapped a player during a drill, and he's apologized. And it was an unfortunate situation. I bet you, I don't know if there was 100 players at practice. I bet you if there was 100 players, 100 players had been slapped in the helmet by a coach at some point. So I didn't think it was that big a deal, but it's something you can't do in this day and age. Times have changed. Football has changed. The coach just can't touch a player, but they've all moved on from it. He's apologized numerous times. He's not on suspension anymore. He's docked a week's pay, and I hope everybody just forgives and forgets and moves on because he's the right guy for the job. They look really good playing football, and I think it's going to be a whole new atmosphere when the fall starts. And maybe this was good that this happened during the spring, so it didn't distract anybody from real football.
Baseball last night, they tried to sweep Tennessee for the first time in a long time. They did not. Vols won at 6-2 last night, but still, you won 2 out of 3 against Tennessee, which is a great recruiting tool for the Bucks. Now they get back to the Southern Conference play.
Well, if actually sweeping them means something very important, then it's very unfortunate that they actually had to play them 3 times this year. Because normally they play them twice, and if they'd stopped at 2 this year, they could claim they have a sweep. But they played them in that tournament earlier in the season, which was supposed to be in Sevierville, but got moved to Knoxville, and the Bucks won there, and then they won the regular season game in Knoxville as well. And so last night they lost at home, but still 2 out of 3 against an SEC team. That's good.
Again, the sports director, Joe Avento, joining us from Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. And, of course, I went down all the high school baseball and softball and soccer that you guys had in the papers yesterday. So on any given day, well, just like today, you're going to be scattering them to the four corners to cover all these baseball and softball games, right?
We send them to the to the four corners. We also have a guy named Jamie Combs who sits in the office and tracks down the games we can't cover. And sometimes his job is overwhelming. There's so much going on. There was one night I came in and said, "How are you doing tonight?" He said, "I had to take a standing 8 count, but I got my second win." It's amazing how much he's got to do. And we leave him in there alone because we simply don't have the manpower to help him. So while everybody's out covering their game, he's in there running the show, and it's tough. But he does it. He does it good.
Does it well. Yeah.
He does it well.
All right, we want to talk about Giancarlo Stanton and the Evil Empire. What's going on with your Yankees right now?
I didn't read the story, but I saw a headline this morning that said Stanton might have a Yankee Stadium problem.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that meant the dimensions in left center and center field being so big that maybe some of his balls are not going out that would, or maybe it's that when you strike out 5 times in Yankee Stadium, the fans get on you, or it might be a little bit of both. But so far, it hasn't panned out the way they had hoped. It doesn't help when your ace pitcher gives up, I don't know, what did he give up, 8 runs last night? Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Stanton, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, left 4 runners on base last night, now batting .197. 29 strikeouts and 66 at-bats. He's being booed after nearly every out he makes now in New York.
Well, when you hit 197, you're making a lot of outs, too. That's a lot of booing.
But
one swing changes those boos to cheers in New York, though.
Well, and let's face it, New York right now this time of year, I mean, it's been very, I think, unseasonably cold. Hitters like to hit in hot weather, so I'm giving him a pass, but I think he'll be okay at the end of the year. Stanton's going to get where he needs to get. Judge certainly has come out of the gate big time.
Yeah, and Didi Gregorius, I think he's got 5 home runs. He's a shortstop. He was the cleanup hitter last year when they signed Stanton. He asked him, "Am I still going to bat cleanup?" And they joked about it. And he's hit 2 home runs in 2 games this year. So, anyways.
Is there a website? Before I let you go, I know you get something to eat. I know you're hungry. Is there a website we can go to find out more about Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News?
JohnsonCityPress.com and TimesNews.net.
There you go.
And I'll tell you something funny. We have email addresses specifically for each paper, sports department, and we communicate back and forth. And like I said, it's TimesNews.net. Sometimes we do .com, and it goes to the Burlington Times News in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure they're tired of seeing stuff from me because it took a while for me to get used to the .net.
It's like, call Joe and tell him.
They used to reply who it is, and we don't need this. They've stopped even replying. I think they probably got me on a spam filter somewhere. So just as long as the one that counts doesn't put me on a spam filter, I'm okay.
You say, pop, the guy goes, "It's Avento again. It's Joe." I love this guy. He's great. Give him some smoke. Go get something to eat. Great guy. Joe Avento, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Oh, it makes me cry. I love having this guy over here. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Another guy like having Jeremy Livesey. Talk a little hoops. The NBA. He joins us next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Michael, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Look here on the screen. My buddy Jeremy Livesey stopped by. I always love having this guy come by from the Big M&M. Tell everybody where you work.
Movement Mortgage, Tri-Cities.
Movement Mortgage of the Tri-Cities, and you're moving it. Before we get into the NBA, what's going on? You guys you're hopping.
Yeah, staying pretty busy. Had a closing yesterday. Had one on Wednesday now. So yeah, we have it on Monday. We a couple last week. Helping some first-time buyers, people relocating to the area.
From?
Been pretty good. We got some right now. We just closed last week, Illinois, and I don't know why they're moving here, but I think they're probably wanting a little bit warmer weather. And then we got some people moving from North Carolina. So.
I'll bet you the average person watching the show has no clue how many people are coming in here.
We have
it's not like Nashville or
no,
but it's still it's interesting how many folks are.
We have a lot of people retiring this area. Just met with a guy on the phone. Well, met with him on the phone, I guess. He's moving here from upstate Illinois, and we got a couple from Wisconsin. And it's just people want to retire here. It's a nice area, no taxes, so it's cost of living's pretty cheap. They enjoy it.
How we get a hold of you? It's Jeremy.
Yep. Dot. You talking about email?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, .literacy@movement.com.
There you go. Jeremy.livesey@movement.com.
Mm-hmm.
We got to record a new commercial today next time I'm over there.
Okay.
We got to get you on doing. I mean, we're still doing the same one.
Yeah, I'll get a haircut. We'll do it.
You what?
I'll get me a haircut. We'll do it.
There's nothing wrong with your hair.
We're doing good.
You said me get a haircut?
I'll get a haircut. No, you don't need one.
No.
You're doing good.
Thank you. I think I'm gonna let it go.
I don't blame you.
No. My buddy said let it roll, and I said okay. If you think it's going okay, I'm gonna let it roll. So there you go. We are talking NBA.
Yes.
Let's talk last night. This guy loves the National Basketball Association. So last night, let's recap the scoring. Toronto beat Washington 130-119. Raptors up 2-0. Washington have anything for them?
No.
Okay.
I think it'll be a sweep.
Raptors moving on, all right?
Yeah.
Celtics 120-106 winners over the Milwaukee Bucks. Celtics up 2-0. Anything there?
That one I'm actually shocked. I thought Milwaukee might bring a little bit more. So hopefully when the series shifts to Milwaukee, it might change things up a little bit. So I thought Milwaukee held held up pretty good last night. I watched most of it. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that Boston has more firepower because they really don't, but they just got more experience.
They will shift, by the way, Friday and Sunday they'll play in Milwaukee. So Celtics are trying to close it out. Also last night in the Pacific Northwest, Portland losing to New Orleans, 111-102. So on the road, they're 2-0 heading back to New Orleans.
Yeah, that one's a shocker.
Surprise.
Yeah, I didn't expect New Orleans to basically go up there and hand it to them 2 games in a row. So.
Same format, Thursday and Saturday they move back to New Orleans. So you got to feel like the ball's in their court.
Yeah, absolutely.
Close it out.
That's one I didn't expect at all.
Tonight, that was last night. Tonight we've got the Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers. Game 2, the Pacers went in and knocked off LeBron and the Cavs.
Yeah.
Shocked on that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect that one.
Oh, 98-80, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not a pretty game.
Yeah. And so
LeBron's got to play.
What was LeBron's reaction to it?
He didn't really seem to care. He's been down before. I mean, he came back from 3-1 in the finals, so down 1-0 in the first round, not a big deal, but I think it's kind of a big deal.
I think I see some concern on Mr. Libby's face.
I don't know. I was a little shocked. They did not play well. So either hopefully Indiana's playing on adrenaline, or I don't know what it is. But they made the Cavs look like a high school team last night.
Game 2 of the series tonight, Oklahoma City hosting Utah. Utah down 1-0, and they'll play again Game 2 tonight in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Nothing there. It's going to be Oklahoma City moving on.
I think it's going to be a sweep on that one, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Also tonight, the Rockets trying to go up 2-0. They'll be hosting the Timberwolves tonight in Houston.
That's the same way. I think that's going to be a sweep.
Are my Spurs in trouble?
Spurs are in trouble. I think they're going to be
out.
Rebuilding here next year.
Yeah, I think you'll see a house cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's what's going on now. Give me your take on the Philadelphia-Miami series right now.
Miami looks like the real deal if Dwayne Wade can stay healthy. I mean, he's going back to the fountain of youth. He played like he played 10 years ago.
So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So right now, who do you give me the top 2 teams you feel like in the Eastern Conference playing well, and the top 2 in the Western?
Well, I mean, I still think the Cavs are going to make it. But, I mean, it's going to take them a little longer to get there. But the way Miami's playing right now, they may give the Cavs a run for the money if they make it that far. And, Toronto looks good. I mean, Toronto should be going to the finals. But, history says it'll be the Cavs. But I think we talked about last time, I wouldn't mind seeing Toronto and Houston in the finals. But I just don't know if Toronto's got the playoff mentality yet.
Incredible stat last week. And he's not in the running for MVP. Russell Westbrook, again, averaging a triple-double 2 consecutive years. Every night he's went out and got double digits, triple-doubles, and points, rebounds, and assists, 4 steals, one of the 4 categories.
And this year's not enough for an MVP.
No. It's incredible.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Averaging a triple-double every game for 2 years. 82 times 2 would be 164 games. Every night he's had double digits in 3 different categories. He's not even in the running for MVP.
No, and the same as LeBron. I mean, he's been in the finals, 6-7 years straight now, and every team he plays on goes to the finals. But you take him off that team, and they don't even make the playoffs, and he's not even in the talks for an MVP, which is sad.
So who's your MVP? Harden?
It's got to be Harden. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, who's in the running besides him? I'm sure there's some other nominees.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but
Westbrook's not one of them. And that's if you just stop and think. No, if you just stop and think basketball as a sport, you got a guy who goes out every night on any level and gets double digits in points, rebounds, and assists every single night.
That's what I think. I think you're going either they should change the name. It's not the most valuable player. It's just the best player, I guess.
Yeah.
But LeBron would win that every year if it was the best player. And I think he's also the most valuable player. But Westbrook, for what his stats were, he should win something. But he's not even mentioned in it.
And for clarity purposes, he plays for
OKC.
Yeah. So he's with Oklahoma City.
He's in a small market. That's the problem.
Well, and so take him off that team, and they're not even a shell of the team they got.
No, it's just Paul George and a bunch of guys we don't know about.
Well, their mamas know who they are, but we don't know who they are. Yeah, their mamas love them. But anyway, so
George, Chris Paul, and whoever's healthy, and that's about it.
Yeah. And after we talked about that last week, Carmichael and I thought, gosh, to because I played basketball. So for me to go out every night and get
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean it's very, very hard to do. To go do double digits in points, rebounds, and assists every single night in an 82-game season. 2 years in a row, he's got nothing to show for as far as an MVP. I'd feel a little slighted if I was him.
Yeah, I would too, but I mean, and we discussed this before, it's a different era.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit easier to do a triple-double than it would be back in the 80s and early 90s.
Well, that's probably
and,
true, too.
You know, it's a little more finesse game. Nobody plays defense anymore.
No, they don't.
So, I mean, it's easier to get the stats, but, I mean, it's still pretty impressive.
And I thought they would crank it down in the playoffs. I thought I'd see more defense, but
I haven't seen it yet.
Scores indicate that it's still track meet. So
no, they're still scoring 120 points a game.
No.
I mean, the only reason the Cavs game was so low the other night, nobody could make a shot. I mean, that was kind of hard to watch.
So true or false? I better not call you tonight at 7 o'clock because you're going to have your phone off. You're going to be watching the Cavs.
That is true.
Yeah, Mrs. Livingston will be cooking. She's cooking dinner or something. You guys are. You guys are piled up at the house watching the game, so I'll call you tonight.
That's exactly right.
I get it. So,
yeah.
Cavs and Indiana tonight, Utah and Oklahoma City, and Houston and Minnesota.
Yeah, and I'll probably in bed by then.
Yeah. So, jeremy.livesey@movement.com.
Yep.
So, that's where you want to go. They're physically located. We'll be over there. We can go there next week, isn't it? Or week after next. We're going to be there. And they are located right across from the Cracker Barrel on Boones Creek. Staff is now... Let's run down your staff members. You got McClure.
We got McClure. We got Jennifer. We got Rob. We got Brittany. Crystal.
Yep. And we got the
We're
man.
hiring. We're still hiring.
Got the man right here. The guy who runs the show, runs a great office. We got a bunch of hard-working folks. Here's what I like. I mean, we talk about basketball. It's a team sport. You can go in there, and I've heard the conversations. I'm getting set up for the show. This one will help that one, and this one will go over and help this one. I mean, it's everybody's pulling on the same.
Yes. We try not to
in the
compete.
same direction. No.
We are not competitors.
No, and it's obvious.
Yeah.
And that's why they're successful because they all look out for each other.
That's right.
It's a team concept.
We try.
And what I like about Movement Mortgage is a faith-based organization.
Yes.
And tell us how that. I mean, give me some examples of how they're faith-based.
Well, I mean, they do mission trips. Actually, they just got back from Guatemala. So if you're an employee of the company, you can take a week off. And you'll only use like 2 days of vacation. They'll give you 3 free ones if you go, and then they'll actually give you money towards your trip. So, I mean, that stuff. And then they do a lot of, like in the Charlotte area, they got charter schools. We do a lot of, we got another thing called Love Works. So if an employee actually has an issue, then the company will take care of that. One of the girls in our Knoxville office, she had, I think she had to adopt a kid that was somebody in her family that just couldn't handle it or something. And the company gave her money to buy clothes for the kid and take care of all the baby stuff. And you don't see that money.
No, you don't see that much. You ever been on a mission trip?
I have not. My parents have.
No. So yeah. I could see. There's David Strickland. There's one of the
there
good guys right there. Our honors coach and our Science Hill soccer coach.
Yeah.
We need to get him back on the show.
He's
I need to get him back.
He's signed autographs over there?
Could be.
Yeah.
He's a very popular guy.
Yeah, he is.
But, yeah, going back to the mission trip, it'll change your life.
Yeah, my brother and my dad went to Brazil, and they said it was just incredible.
Yeah, life-changing.
Yeah.
We think we have people around here rough and poor, and there is poverty here. But it ain't nothing. Ain't nothing like down there.
They would trade for our poor. Yep.
Remember the story to Mexico, went on a mission trip, and a kid, a Mountain Dew can fell out of the van. A Mountain Dew can. Empty Mountain Dew can. This kid thought it was a chunk of gold, got his stick, was smacking down the street playing, and it went into this little creek run down through the middle of the town. Can't remember the name of the city now. And so found out later that little creek was raw sewage.
Ooh.
Just rolling down the middle. And didn't know any better, and he's playing ball chasing with a stick with an empty Mountain Dew can.
Wow.
And thought it was a chunk of gold. So there you go. I understand when you go down there, if you take flip-flops, when you bring flip-flops from America, they go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
These kids go bananas.
Yeah, we always send T-shirts and shoes and stuff with the groups. They love that stuff.
Anyway, Movement Mortgage does that. They do good things here on the local scene, too. And so that's the name of the game. And I appreciate you coming by. Anything you want to leave us with today?
No. You're
hungry?
Yeah, I'm a little hungry. And we're doing a cookout at our office. here in the next couple weeks.
Oh.
So we'll have a little meet and greet.
Oh.
I think it's on the 9th.
There's food.
On the May 9th, I think we're doing it.
There's food involved.
Yeah, burgers and dogs and
I like it.
all the fixings.
How many dogs can you eat? You don't eat a hot dog.
I have not had a hot dog in about 30 years.
Really?
There's many reasons why I don't.
How many burgers?
I can knock out 2 or 3. Yeah, I have no problem with a hamburger.
I can put the hammer on a hot dog or a hamburger.
Yeah, so I've never met a burger I didn't like.
There you go.
Yeah.
You get something to eat, my friend.
I will. Thank you very much.
It's our buddy. Appreciate him very much. Our buddy Jeremy Livesey again from Jeremy.Livesey of movement.com.
That's it.
Good man.
I
All
try
right,
to
is
be.
it this button right here? Oh, you are. You don't try to be. You are. So there you go. We, again, thank him for being with us on the show. We get Coach Strickland back on here at some point in the very near future. He's got a lot to talk about the Otters and, of course, Science Hill Soccer. And we appreciate him very much. And that's going to do it from here. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We'll be back in the saddle tomorrow. We'll be at Champion Chevrolet. Then Friday we'll be at Food City on Clinchfield Street in Kingsport. One of our great sponsors getting ready to kick off the big 2-day sale coming up on Friday and Saturday for this week for the folks at Food City. And so I want to say thanks again to Greg Salyer with our Major League Baseball update. Also Joe Bento from the Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News, and Jeremy Livesey again from Movement Mortgage. Again, Jeremy.Livesey at movement.com. We appreciate him very much. And thanks to the folks giving us a watch and listen. Like it and share it, and you have. Thank you very much. Coming up next month, we'll give you a chance to win tickets to Dollywood. We're going to do that starting, again, next month. Looking forward to that. So you want to stay by your phone, or not by your phone, but stay by your computer and get yourself registered to win tickets to Dollywood. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. It's a great place to go. Great family, obviously family facility. So we'll do that coming up again starting in the first week of May, and give you a chance to win tickets to go to Dollywood later on this year. It'll be good. So, hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Back in the saddle tomorrow, again, from Champion Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer for 10 years running, the great state of Tennessee. We'll do that tomorrow again from Champion, the Bristol Highway Motor Mile here in Johnson City. So, for Joe Bento, Jeremy Livesey, Greg Salyer, Connie Lammer, the Director of Marketing here for the facility, and the Godfather of Chicken, we call him Tim Birchfield. This is Tom Taylor telling you, as always, win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching show number 729 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.